life-changing habits that you need to achieve financial goals. In this video, I'm going to talk about 7 key things that are life-changing habits you need in order to achieve your financial goals. Money is tight, a lot of us struggle to get by, and we're in a recession. So these are 7 things you need to know in order to achieve your financial goals. First off, I want to talk about mindset. So changing your mindset is the cornerstone to a set of life-changing habits that you need to achieve your financial goals. And this is because in order to take action or take any of these actions to, as far as habits go, to achieve your financial goals, it all starts with your thought process and how you approach things. So as far as mindset goes, I broke it up into 5 stages of changes in order to adjust your mindset. So for that first stage, pre-contemplation, and I say pre-contemplation meaning a lot of us are in denial and the fact that we could do better, that we might not be working as efficient and effective as we can. We're not living up to our potential. Now, it's important to remain objective. You have to accept the fact that you might not be doing things the best way that you could, and that's okay. You have to see the room for change. You have to accept where you are so that you can get better. And I've said this before, if you already think you're great at everything, you're never going to be able to improve. Now, for the second stage of changing your mindset, that brings you to thinking and really contemplating the whole situation. You need to look at the lay of the land, look at everything you are doing to see these holes, to see where you can do better, to see where you can kind of polish up your game and tackle things from a different angle. Doing your research, you might find ways to do things better and possibly save more money. So after these first 2 stages, the pre-contemplation and accepting the fact that you could do things better, and thinking by contemplating the whole situation, you want to move to the prepare stage, and that's where you kind of come up with your plan or your roadmap on how specifically, that blueprint on how you're going to get better. You want to kind of map it out for yourself so it's easier to go about and tackle head on, and it's not as intimidating. So once you've prepared, then it's time for stage 4, and that is taking action. You want to implement all these things that you've thought about, from accepting where you could do better and then contemplating that whole situation, coming up with your plan of attack, your roadmap and blueprint on how you're going to do things. You need to implement these actions that you need to take in order to change your mindset. And then it's ready for step 5, which is kind of bringing everything full circle in that whole changing of your mindset, and that is what I call the maintenance aspect. And that's going to kind of entail the refining and polishing and reflecting. So you want to reflect on everything that you've done in this process, in these processes or new ways of doing things, and you want to kind of polish up or refine the pieces of this puzzle that you've came up with solving on ways that maybe aren't working as effectively or efficiently as you thought, and kind of changing it, polish it up to where it is as efficient as possible in changing your mindset and getting you to where you want to be. Next up, paying all your bills on time. The housing market has been crazy. Everything's been crazy in this economy. Paying your bills on time is a very important thing to do for a multitude of reasons, not just the fact of you don't want to go late on your bills. There's a big ripple effect and a lot of chain reactions that occur from not paying your bills on time. First and foremost, it's going to negatively impact your credit score. So down the road, if you ever need a loan for a house or a car or anything like that, it's going to look bad on you, and it might be more difficult to get an agreeable offer because your credit score is bad, you haven't been on top of your bills. It's just a nice thing to do as well because it shows consistency and a disciplined art of just being an adult and kind of staying on top of your stuff. Paying your bills, it's a good habit to get into, to pay them on time to avoid any negative ripple effect or chain reactions that may occur from this. And number 3, I've talked about a lot, and that's learning how to budget. I've talked about in previous videos, there's many methods you can look up, the 50-30-20 method, the 70-20-10 method, and learning how to budget is very important because the whole aspect and thought behind it is analyzing the amount of money you have coming in as a whole down to the penny, and then making every cent count. And you want to kind of pie chart it to where a specific amount is allotted towards your needs, your wants, your debt payoff, and even things of leisure if you want some things to kind of incentivize you budgeting correctly and doing things the right way. Learning to budget, another discipline art, another good habit to get into, another life-changing habit that you need to achieve your financial goals, especially in a recession where every every penny does count. And number 4, I've already kind of talked about, it's staying involved and objective with your progress. You need to remain objective with yourself throughout. You need to understand where you are in this process, where you stand, and where you can do better. You need to remain objective with your mindset. Maybe you fell behind on paying bills. You need to stay involved in every aspect that we have just talked about. So staying involved with paying your bills on time, accepting where you are, contemplating the whole situation, looking at that roadmap, your plan of attack, are you getting lazy and not taking action, and refining, reflecting, or polishing on this roadmap to changing your mindset or doing things effectively, paying all your bills on time, budgeting the right way, things of that nature. You just need to stay involved throughout the entire process. You need to remain objective with your progress and understand you have all these puzzle pieces. You need to put them all together to be able to see the big picture. Number 5, learning to invest and to save. So investing and saving, whether it's stocks, index funds, mutual funds, dividends, even retirement accounts, 401ks, Roth IRAs, stuff of that nature, it's important to just put some money away for the future. You need to think of your life long term, not just short term. You might have kids in the future if you don't already, and it's important to just put that money away so that it's just the more selfless thing to do, and it's less selfish if you just splurge on all these items yourself. You never know when someone in your family is going to need help, when you might need something down the road, or whether you have an investment down the road, a bigger investment where you wish you had saved all this money. There's many tools out there. There's many trading platforms that have education tabs where they have free videos teaching you all kinds of things. What is a stock? What is a dividend? What's a bond? How do dividends work? How to read candlestick charts? Everything like that. There's tools out there, YouTube, Google. So just learning to invest and save, it's just better long term. It's a better look. It's more selfless and less selfish. So that kind of ties in with number 6, which is an emergency fund. When you learn to invest or save, it can go to a emergency fund as well. So if something happens, maybe you have a pet that swallows something it shouldn't have and it needs an emergency surgery to remove the object, then you're going to wish you had that money on hand. If something happens with your kids, you're going to wish you had that money on hand. Something with your house, or you break a laptop, or anything. I mean, there's many things out there that can happen, freak accidents that can happen, that you're going to wish you had an emergency fund. And it's a just very easy thing to do long term, because you can just bleed little amounts of money, little by little over, and eventually it just pulls into this big emergency fund you use whenever you need it. So after talking about these 6 life-changing habits that you need to achieve your financial goals, that brings me to number 7, which is an oftentimes overlooked piece, and that is just networking with other successful people and learning from them. And this is a big thing, because I like to believe that us as people, we're very habitual, we're very adaptable to our environment, that people you hang out around, I like to believe that you kind of adapt to their lifestyle. If you haven't already, it's just those people you click with. So if you are part of the party crowd, for instance, it's not the easiest way to save or invest your long term. So maybe you have friends that are partiers and you're not, but chances are you might be down the road, because that's the people you hang around. You might get sucked into that. So just hanging around successful people, learning and networking from these successful people, you're more apt to get some more refined tools for your tool belt to kind of help you learn tips and tricks of the trade and how to be successful yourself, more efficient and effective with your money down the road. So, and another thing, if you kind of put forth that effort into asking those meaningful questions to other successful people, they'll probably give you the more passionate, heartfelt answers that you're looking for, because they see that you care and they see that you want these answers, as opposed to if they're kind of giving a speech to a bunch of people, it's more robotic, it's more process. It's like they're force feeding knowledge because they don't know who truly wants it and who just is around to listen. So I believe these are 7 things that you need to know. There's 7 life-changing habits that you need to achieve these financial goals. They're very important things, especially in our day and age, especially in a recession when money is tight. If you like the content, please subscribe, like the video.